Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Resident Evil 4. Let's see. I have yet to give this run a nickname. So how about refined gameplay only? But then again, I haven't exactly been that refined. I got hurt like 12 times to El Gigante. But I will try to do my best to move on. Pick up all this random ammo. Now I could go to talk to the merchant, but I won't. He actually doesn't have any upgrades at this section. His best asset during this part is that he actually sells medical sprays, which are actually pretty dang useful here because you can... Because I have to say that this area, if you do what I do, is fucking hard. And I think this depends on... I think this is all around my mentality that I've said before, that too often when I play video games, I do them to make it feel as if I am the best in the world at what I do. Leon! And a lot of times when I play games with that mindset, I'll say like, alright, well, I don't need that. Alright, with one grenade, you can hurt El Gigante in enough stun that he'll already expose this. You just have to keep shooting with your red 9. And shoot him twice in the back. You only need 2 grenades for this. You could theoretically use that rock up there, but that's very tricky to time. And you stand a great risk of hurting Ashley in the process. Shit. Alright, that was very close because I chose to reload at the wrong time. As I'm doing now. Fuck. Okay. 2 more shots. And mash the buttons. And you win. Now, the entire design of this place is, well, look at it. You're supposed to frantically be running away from El Gigante and try to find the key and then make it through. It's the way to get through this area with the minimum amount of damage, with the minimum amount of cost, but you will most likely not be able to pick up anything here. And it may be very likely that the entire point of this section was to force El Gigante to break everything down, costing you everything, but you get what you need, and that's this old key. This isn't a high... this may be like more runaway, or if you're really low on ammo from that cabin fight, we have you covered. If you can run really fast and you know how to stun El Gigante, you will be rewarded. Anyway, but that is my reward for this section. That is the purple gem. That is the entire reason I come to this region. Not El Gigante, not any of that ammo, although all of that is nice. It's El Gigante. Ugh. It's the purple gem. My god. My linguistics are horrible. But I said that this area is kind of hard when you have the perspective I have, which is oftentimes to make video games feel as if I am incredible at what I do. And you may argue that's very pathetic, and most likely that is in some sort of way. But, you know, a lot of people say, well, I play video games to do something that I think looks fucking cool, and that was on accident. You know, I play games to look like I'm cool, and a lot of times, you know, or to feel like I'm cool or something. And you know, I play video games to feel powerful. And, you know, I guess it's all about, like, mental, you know, have almost an internal desire that must be sated some way. And I'm really happy I didn't accidentally shoot the merchant there. Anyway, moving on to the left section. And as I said, I like video games to make me feel like I am the best in the world, so I kind of take steps that people who are that good would avoid, or like would not need. Like, you know, it's like I see a treasure chest. Oh, like it basically tells me, oh, you can either get one or the other. No, I can get both. It's just hard. Why is there so much slowdown? Jeez. Somebody, like, if somebody has the Xbox version of this, can you tell me whether there's this much slowdown in that one? Because what I'm thinking they did here is they ported the... This is probably a really lazy port or something. It is Capcom after all. And the fire alarm in my house is going off. Oh God. I cannot record like this. Hold on. Okay, we dealt with that situation. It's the usual reason that is. Like, I think I saw like a picture online of something with that, with like a picture of a fire alarm, and it's like, oh, you're cooking something? Yes, let me make the yell or the scream or the song of my people. Okay. Anyway, we will move on from that very loud area. And now, because I have no bullets, I chose to use a knife. But I do have bullets. I just forgot to load my gun. I could call for Ashley to come back up again, but I don't think it's necessary. There was only one enemy that was there, but I think the entire point of that little enemy was to bring out the fact that yes, Ashley is still in danger. My God, that was close. All right. It's there's oftentimes, like, with video games you can't do it, but there's oftentimes that question of like, why is that guy there? Well, actually no, there is no oftentimes that question, because we're oftentimes so caught up in what's going on that we don't think to ourselves, why is this particularly here? You know, that guy right there is almost a reminder, you know, you probably called Ashley back at this point, but you should know that she is always in danger. You know, unless it's a finale in which it's like, don't worry, you're now at a point of relief. You can now relax. Did he fall or? No, he didn't. And I guess that's the ultimate gratifying thing about this game at times. As painful as Ashley is to a lot of people, I think this game would probably be lesser if she wasn't in it. You know, the idea, you know, if it was just nothing but shooting gallery sections. You need ebbs and flows in every little thing, and you need ebbs and flows in mechanics, ebbs and flows in like gameplay focus. You need ebbs and flows in styles. Like hell, the fucking serious ass. One of the serious secondary bosses in this game is after like a Donkey Kong Country minecart level. All right. You need levity. You need to be serious, but you also need to have fun. All right. It's all about the situation, but it's also about realizing that the people playing this game are only human. Okay. Reload. Don't you clip my legs. Fuck you! Ooh, yes! Alright, I can pop that guy with a headshot, but he's still alive. Alright. Got the ammo to continue, but we still got both the Bella sisters. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, got him. Okay. Could use a grenade, but I'm lazy. Okay, I need ammo in my gun, no matter what. And fire everywhere. Apparently 2 fans on a window is not enough. Okay, now we have to move on. I remember there was a reason I didn't record on days when, shit, that was so fucking close. It's weird that a lot of times the best strategy, well actually because the AI in this game, it depends on predicting how you're gonna move. So a lot of times all you need to do is change that. It doesn't matter whether it ultimately will make sense, like running towards someone brandishing a chainsaw. The point is, get out of the way. Like, don't go with the way, don't move the way they think you're gonna move. Alright, I got the band camp key, but where is the, oh shit, yeah, there's one guy dedicated there, like he apparently is a dedicated assist type. Because he'll just stand there and throw stuff. I guess I assumed I would be down there fighting him. Which makes sense. I mean, this area looks so enclosed and in many ways would feel very claustrophobic if I didn't know the tricks. Anyway, upskirt shot. Anyway. Now I will collect my spoils. Look around for more treasures. And wait for Ashley. And pick up her skirt.
Oh, you pervert.
And what the fuck? Oh shit, no, this is something that's kind of obnoxious. You can't you cannot catch Ashley unless you drop the ladder. I don't know why. Anyway, reload to make sure there are 10 bullets here. Alright. Alright, this is a point in which the game, I think you kind of get the idea that Ashley is in danger at every point. And this is why this next part, okay, well not this part in particular, but a part coming up, they're basically going to have enemies rush you while also giving you a very clear, oh shit. This is also something that's kind of obnoxious.
Follow me.
If you go down to this treasure room, you always have to catch Ashley. Unless you call her to not go. Unless you call her to wait first. Which I forgot to do. But anyway, the second part. Fuck, there was something down there. Crap. Alright. Well, this next part coming up is something where enemies come at you at a very frantic rate. And you still have Ashley. But at the same time, the game makes it very clear there's a place for Ashley. It's sort of a way of stopping you from taking as much preparation time as you may need, but at the same time making sure your experience is going to be much more smooth. Alright, I got a flash grenade and the red gem, and now with the red gem, we can do what I wanted to do from the beginning. Well, not really from the beginning. Get the elegant mask and combine it with everything else. Sweet. The elegant mask fixed with everything, and now this is a complete elegant mask. Looks kind of like the masks used in Eyes Wide Shut. Sort of. Anyway, I don't know if we've had a continue point so far, so we may be in for trouble. Anyway, immediate danger as enemies come at us, but we can have Ashley hide. Enemies will still like try to attack Ashley, but once they realize she's in there, they just sort of stop, which is hilarious. Alright. Okay. This is where the kick is very beneficial because enemies will gather in such large clusters that you can oftentimes hit like 4 or 5 of them at once. This is really benefited by how wide this kick is. I may talk later about Mercenaries mode, but what makes Ada one of my favorite characters to play in Mercenaries mode is the fact that she has such a wide kick, so that you can hit so many people all at once. Fuck. Okay. When you get people off you, you try to run away because right now I got no ammo. I gotta reload and then use that time to run away further. There is a purpose in that because I need bullets. Alright. But this is the difficult thing. Trying to run up to enemies while they're stunned while also trying to avoid other guys. Ooh, yes. And that's the most satisfying sound to hear. Just the crack of multiple heads at once. That's knowing that all these kicks are doing like just such a good dent in the armor. Doing this with just the knife is most likely possible, but it would also take forever. And I don't know whether the enemies are smart enough to know how exactly to protect themselves by... Oh geez, clones. Okay, well these guys would know how each other would move because they're clones. But the enemies sometimes feel like they're just at just the right position to stop me from doing a knife attack. Then again, my main arsenal is supposed to be guns. Okay. Anyway, collected all the treasure. I can get Ashley. Alright. That probably sounded disgusting. Okay. Open up these treasure chests or these barrels on the side. And get some money. Unbar the gate. And that gate is what would have stopped you from trying to get the red gem if you went the other way. Both doors are impossible to get through on the other side without either collecting an item or getting something from the other side. They're a little bit different. But I think you could tell there's a difference. I think it's actually possible to get the purple gate or the purple gem without even really fighting him, or without even really fighting El Gigante. And this is a theory I have, that you could, in theory, run through all the gates, get the old key, unlock the door, go back the other way, and go through the other route. And then with all that, enter from the other side and then take the purple gem. You might actually be able to do that pretty well. So anyway, that little log we found there basically told us that Bitorez Mendez is not happy with his current situation and is going to kill us. Because he basically locked the door with his own eye, and we gotta take that from him. Okay.
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
The merchant
What
will
are
not
you
give us
selling?
anything new.
Is that all?
But after collecting so much
Thank you.
excessive ammo, it's worth selling some.
Is that all? Ah.
Rubies, I think,
Thank
are
you.
almost always dropped by at least one of the Bella sisters. And the elegant mask with all the pieces is worth more than the individual parts.
Ah. I'll buy it at a high price. Thank you.
Now, will I have
Come
ammo
back.
problems? Well, okay, the lack of ammo, I mean, is not a problem. The problem well, actually, no, lack of ammo might be a problem because of two sections we're about to come up with here. The first section we're going to come up with is a gondola. I needed the rifle when I was younger. I no longer need it because of the invention known as HD televisions. If you had my standard TV had the weirdest problem where it would lose a lot of quality and everything would just sort of blur into darkness. Now, when I got the Wii version, I had a decent, like, my TV still had that problem, but because the reticule would turn red, it actually allowed me to do this better. But now with these versions, I can do this just fine. But it is still really tricky because it's a faraway shot. And Leon has shaky hands. There's also the part where I think most people will notice Ashley's little thing with her hands that she does when you beat an opponent, or shoot an opponent down, I should say. She actually does this on a somewhat consistent basis, but because most of the time you are going to do this on like very hectic situations rather than this area where everything is super peaceful. This is the most peaceful shootout on a gondola you will ever see. Now you don't see that guy come on, but he comes on. And this guy is cheap because he can hit you pretty much like behind that pillar, but thankfully I got him before that happened. Woo. Anyway, move on. Alrighty then. So, what else is there to talk about? I think one thing that might be worth talking about is character. Like, what I think might be worth talking about is, like, what the hell makes it something cool? Because, as I said, like, what do I like? What's sort of my perception when I play games? You know, I want to feel like I am the best in the world at what I do. And so, I kind of appreciate it when people go to extreme lengths to almost handicap themselves and yet are so very good at what they do regardless. This is why one guy I always rooted for in the second Hulk movie, or I should say the second Hulk movie, was that one guy who eventually became the Abomination. Because he would be looking at just the face of a giant monster, but not even blink at the idea of fighting him. That's something that's very captivating to me. The idea of taking on something that should, by all rights, you know, not be within your league at all. But, you know, you take it on anyway. And you win. Oh, of course, the guy didn't win. He got his bones broken multiple times. But he got up. And he kept trying. And there's something very respectable about someone who has a very strong sense of determination and pride about what they do, that they can't lose. I don't know, and maybe that's maybe my sort of drive, the fact that I can keep getting up. Although my problem with that is I oftentimes focus on the loss rather than the fact that I'm getting up. So I'll feel more frustrated than I probably should at certain games. Okay, so now I'm running into ammo problems. Now, incendiary grenades are not going to be all that great in this next boss fight. However, hand grenades are.
Is that all? Thank you.
So I'm going to sell my TMP. And I think I already passed the hand grenades. Yep. Okay. Incendiary grenades, I'll get rid of 3.
Stranger? Is that all?
And I also need to do something else. Not that. Go to the treasures and combine my beer stein with all the jewels. And now it is a complete beer stein with 3 gemstones set in. I also really like this idea of the mechanic that you can do one thing, but if you do it another thing, you can do it better. And I think this is why this game appeals to me so much, because you can do all these little things to try to, you know, challenge yourself in little incremental ways, if you will. And guess what? There's a reward. Money. Which, you know, in many ways, you know, what does money give you? Well, it does give you all the dumb weapons that are completely worthless, like the frickin' mine launcher, and hell, rocket launchers, which, by the way, I have to point out, rocket launchers insta-kill every boss. Every boss will actually pretty much instantly die. However, this is not the case for, I think, multi-stage bosses. For example, I think Bitorez Mendez will completely just fall apart in his first stage, but will get up. Like, he won't, like, die and then die again. Anyway. On to this next scene. If you're playing this, you always have to remember that if you're skipping the cutscene, beware of the QTE immediately afterwards. I always just mash square and X and then hit L and R if it's necessary. Well, I always hit L and R regardless. Okay. Now, there is a new addition to this version that I noticed was absent from the GameCube version. If you go too far away, he'll do a sort of ground slide to come towards you. Alright. And manipulating the AI on this is a little tricky to get him to waste his time. You have to get him to swipe at you, but that can be tricky. But here is the way he sort of comes at you. That's why you have to try not to get too far away from him. If you go too far away, it's pretty much his way of saying don't. Damn it! He won't stop! He wants a hug, but I refuse to give him one because it will kill me. Alright. And the ranges at which he attacks is always a little iffy. Alright. Try to reload and avoid the swipe. This is why I try to go to the side of him, because if you go to the side of him, he'll tend to go for a merry smack on you. Oh, shit. But if you just stand still, he'll do that, which is admittedly more easily dodgeable, but many times what he'll go for is a straight-up grab, an unblockable grab. Now, of course, he has to be really close to do it, but he's always running towards you. Alright. And of course, try to get out of his range. Shit, when you do this. Alright, now he's behind the pillar. Okay. This is a very eerie boss battle now that I really take the time to look at all the little details. And if you just listen to that soundtrack, there is nothing booming, there is nothing triumphant about it. This is nothing but a tense battle with something that is so slow that it can barely limp towards you. But the problem is, I hate the second half of this boss battle. This guy is a dick. 5, 6, 7. Alright. I'd recommend actually using flash grenades to bring him down, and then using shotgun ammo to shoot him while he's down. Alright. You can dodge some attacks, but not all of them. If he can hit you, it will take out half damage. But if you are playing on hard mode, or pro, I should say, it will insta-kill you. You can see why I hated fighting this guy. Okay. Getting the right range on this is very tricky because if you're too close, he can be on the stairwell previous and hit you very hard. Alright. Mastering the QTEs is... Well, I haven't mastered the QTEs. It's a QTE. It's reaction. But it's very tricky to always know when to shoot and everything. Oh my god. That boss battle is nothing but tension. In fact, this area, you could actually consider it just an escalation of tension if you really think about it. I mean, the gondola ride, you're always just hearing the sounds of everything coming at you, and it's just to know that there's something coming at you and you don't know if you can hit it or not because everything is so dark. And then what's the section after that? All the enemies have basically insta-hit moves, and the guy who's up there next to the yellow catstone very, very consistently will pop into, will pop up from becoming, will pop into becoming a parasite, or I should say an advanced parasite. So yes, this area is basically increasing escalation and then, you know, kind of just calmness around the area with the merchant, but then it just hits you with all the tension at once. And now with the long walk all the way back up to the gate at which I'm going to use my eye, there are no enemies. There's no enemies, so there's all the tension is just gone. It just washes away from you over time. And that's when you can kind of appreciate the little things, or I should say the little things about this game. And you can kind of say, wow, I am feeling relieved that I'm out of that situation. Which is, weirdly enough, for a game that I will very stringently say is definitely an action game, that's a very survival horror strategy. You know, that's sort of the relief with when you hear the music in the save rooms. It's like, oh, thank God, I'm not in danger anymore. You know, and as I said, you need levity sometimes. You need to know I'm safe. Now, there are games that can benefit from not necessarily having save rooms, but experiences that are, you know, very short, I think are the only ones where this is really, really good. Anyway, we can talk to the merchant, but there's really not much to sell. We did find a few treasures, and hell, we found some TMP ammo, but we're not going to be coming across... Oh wait, we are going to be coming across some ammo, because I'm going to be fighting a hell of a lot of enemies.
Welcome.
So I'm actually thinking I am going to have to sell quite a bit.
Got a selection. What are you
So anyway,
selling?
sell
Is
TMP
that okay?
ammo, obviously.
Thank you.
And I would actually sell... actually, I wouldn't sell the incendiary grenades, because that would actually be very beneficial this next region. But obviously sell the spinel. Or spinal, I don't know what it's called.
Thank you.
And with how I do, I'm gonna sell 13 of my shotgun shells because I most of the time use my handgun in conjunction with my
Is
legs.
that all, stranger? Thank
Even
you.
though I'm kind of low on handgun ammo. My rifle ammo is really high, but I do use my, well, I like to think that I use my automatic rifle quite a bit. I mean, it's the automatic rifle or the striker shotgun are the best weapons in this game. And it's kind of beautiful that way because they're the perfect complements to each other. The automatic sniper rifle is very fast. You know, it has kind of limited ammo, but you can reload really fast once you get to the final upgrade. And you know, the striker is, you know, it hits hard. It has a great range. It has a great spread, and you have absurd amounts of bullets for it. Or at least I get it. But anyway, now we're here. We got to the retinal scanner. I got up to the false eye. So yeah, I've heard people say this game is actually legitimately scary for them, and I've never quite understood it. I think this game is more in line with the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which sounds like I'm actually calling it a horror movie, but not really. Like, those movies always come off to me like comedies with a horror-themed comedy. Anyway, trigger this truck with running, back away. And if you can shoot the driver, you will not have to shoot the truck that often. You will not have to make it burst into flames. It will do it automatically. Anyway, what I'm about to do next, I don't know if I discovered it, but I figured it out on my own. If you walk backwards, the enemies will never spawn because they only spawn when you're looking at them. Or I should say when you're not looking at them. And this is a sign of how far you've gone. Like, the enemies drop stuff, but of course they don't all drop stuff. There are no enemies behind you. Or I should say no more enemies behind you. You can still see the gate, but once the gate is off camera... Wait, how far off camera? They come out. Now, the reason I brought the incendiary grenades was because they're in such a heavy bunch that it can be very easy to just throw an incendiary grenade. But now that they're coming a little bit closer, I'm going to do that. Because the enemies have the instinct to just run at you, they'll just keep running into the fire. And now that they're thinned out a bit, I can go for headshots. Alright. Oh, shit. Wow, that was close. Fuck. Okay, we need to back away. Okay. I'm going to heal myself with yellow to expand my health. It's not going to make me entirely safe, but I will be able to take one more hit. Oh, shit. Try to keep them distant. And a lot of times trying to zone out enemies can be kind of tricky with the headshot mechanic because the animation they go for is always kind of random. Like, it'll go backwards, it'll turn around sometimes. A lot of these can be very beneficial, but it can be so friggin' random. Like, I've had cases where I am right in front of a guy, level 1 parasite, or the guy that I just shot, basically. And I hit him with a headshot, and he leaned his head forward, and in doing so, he became close enough to hit me just with the knife with basically nothing else. Alright. I think I was also talking about more, like, levity and, you know, calmness and tension and everything, and now, like, this section, I'm pretty sure you were intended to fight that right next to the truck without running away, and, you know, with all that, you would have just been able to walk all the way here, and hey, it's very serene. I don't know, I've always thought that castles like these, I always found them very likably serene. Like, this is why I think Castlevania for me is more frustrating than it is for other people, because I like the area I live in, or like I like the castle. Like it seems very friendly to me, and I never think of fighting a place as a challenge. I think of fighting an individual. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this part of Let's Play Resident Evil 4. So next time, we're gonna enter the castle and find out what? Well, find out what, actually. We were supposed to come here to fucking get picked up from a helicopter. And I'm skipping all the cutscenes regardless. Bah!